All right, party people. It's Tuesday morning. It's 10 after 10. I've gotten my walk done. I've got Walt's breakfast ready, but he's still in bed. So I am going to the chiropractor. I have got to stop sitting around waiting for him to get out of bed before I start doing the things that I need to do. And this sounds like something I want to do, but it is truly something I need to do. So, lesson learned this morning. It's hot enough now that I'm going to have to get up earlier. I walked, I'm not even sure how far, to something. And it's really hot already. In fact, my truck says 81. It felt hotter than that. Of course, I'm only getting in shade every now and then on the walk. And, yeah, so I had plenty to drink prior. But, nonetheless, it's hot. And I got up at 8. I should have left sooner, but had other things to take care of. Tomorrow I'll just have to get up at 7 and get started closer to 7:30. So, which is fine. If I can get in bed by 11, even if I can get in bed by midnight, 7 hours is enough for me, especially on, like yesterday I didn't lift weights. I did a lot of yard work, but I didn't lift weights. I don't need 8+ hours of sleep when I don't lift weights. If you didn't know that, that is the general recommendation. Whatever you normally need sleep-wise, add an hour on days you lift weights. Your body needs recovery. Part of the purpose of lifting weights is tearing up those muscle fibers, and those muscle fibers recover when you're asleep. So give yourself some extra time to recover by making sure you get enough sleep. I did walk out this morning to discover that the flags that have been placed all over the neighborhood and seem to be centralized in my yard, the work has started. I have one hole so far in my front yard, and at least 2 in the backyard, and an entire crew of guys hanging out in the backyard, which thrills me that my to-do list for today including cut the backyard. I said I did yard work yesterday, but I did not cut my backyard. Generally don't put as much effort and concern into the backyard as I do the front because, well, like all things in life, we care more about what people see. It's also a matter of what's used and what isn't. It's also a matter of I actually put money into making my front yard look nicer. The grass look nice and green and weedless. So the small hole in the front bothers me way more than all the shit going on in the backyard, but what can you do? I think I discovered yesterday, I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that there's 3 different flags that I'm seeing all over the neighborhood. One is an orange and white striped flag, like diagonally striped, and that is AT&T. Which, if you remember from last summer, they trashed the whole neighborhood last summer with their line digging and put 4 holes in my yard that included cutting my Wi-Fi for about 8 days. Okay, so that's the orange and white stripe. Then there's orange flag, a solid orange flag that seems to be cable. I don't know if it's Charter or Spectrum or I don't know. I don't have cable, so I don't know. Whatever it is. Unfortunately, it does run right by where I park my truck in my yard, and I don't have it. But the cable runs underground, but to my neighbor, which is really kind of, I don't know, kind of pisses me off a little bit. But anyway. And then there's red. Red is the problem causer this time around. It's Duke Power. and that's who's supposedly going to be running new lines. I'm not really sure how they're going to do this, but I got to have them take care of any damage they may cause, because they've got lines and flags going right up under my deck that's not even a year old. So, fingers crossed I ain't got to kill a man over this, but I've got red flags all back through my yard and under my deck and around the side of my house. I was yesterday cutting the grass, and I think I missed all the flags except one. I know I zapped one of them, but what are you gonna do? I did better than my neighbor up the street. I walked by his house, and there were just a bunch of mangled flags out in the street. Homeboy just cut all his grass with no regard for any flags in the ground. Which, it's funny to me that somebody could be that bold. I'll call it bold or stupid, I don't know which. When really, if they just cut something, it's just going to piss him off even more. Because if it wasn't marked... Anyway, I guess we'll cross that bridge. So, yeah, that's been my morning so far. Just laughing to myself. Listening to David Goggins. And, man, I'm telling you, if that dude doesn't inspire you to do things that you don't think you can do, I don't know who will. Homeboy's something else. Part of me would like to meet him, but part of me is scared to death at what I might try to do after I meet him. Because he's already got me thinking about doing things I didn't think I'd ever do. But he's a hell of a motivator. So, enjoying that book. Anyway, I'm almost at the chiropractor and I need to drink. So, I'll holler at you some more later, I'm sure. Alright, here we go again. It's now 12:30. Going out for the rest of my errands for the day. Watching my yard get dug up more and more. These streets aren't wide enough for work trucks and traffic going in both directions. It's kind of annoying. Because they just did this last summer, now they're doing it again. Why do they wait till summer? Why do they wait till my grass is nice and green? Lush? Ugh. Anyway. So, Walt's settled in. He's been outside a couple times. He's kicking his table every time he comes in, which I just can't understand why he does that every time, but whatever. He's got a table next to him because he's got to have bottles of water and his little lemonade squirt and a box of tissues and a place to put his remote, all that. One side of his chair is a trash can because of the tissues and the bottles. So it's not like I could just move the table. It's also a matter of which arm works and which one doesn't. So, can't do anything about that table. But every time he comes in from outside, he kicks that thing and the bottles of water fall. Sometimes the remote falls, and God help him if he can't get his TV remote. No, God help me when he can't get his TV remote. He hasn't asked what's for dinner yet, which is unusual because he's had breakfast for almost 2 hours. That's, well, if I was home, he would ask me within the hour because it's usually about 3 hours after breakfast he starts asking what's for dinner. Keeping in mind, I give him a substantial breakfast. He has as much or more as I do. It's got to be pretty close to the same calories. But nonetheless, that's all he thinks about is what's for dinner. So, yeah. And he doesn't know where I'm going, but I am going to get him breakfast for tomorrow because it's time to restock the quiche. I did, with the last quiche, put 2 or 3 pieces in the freezer, wrapped in saran wrap and then in a freezer bag, and thawed them out the day before he would have them, and it worked fine. He didn't have any complaints. So that's what we'll do again. I'm tempted to get 2 quiche if they have them, so I don't have to make a trip over here every 10 days. We'll see. Sometimes they don't always have a big selection of quiche, or, have more than one of the variety available. Be nice if he could eat some of the other varieties, but they are either things he won't eat, like red peppers, mushrooms, or spinach, or they're full of meats that he shouldn't have: sausage, bacon, ham, all of the above, which is what I would love to have, but I really shouldn't eat it. So, cheese quiche it is. We'll see how many they've got. Maybe I will get two. That would be a good idea to save me some trips back and forth. It's a good bit. It's a good haul from the house to the bakery that makes them. And I would look for some at the store, but I know at the store they're going to be in the frozen section, and they're going to be way more salt. Anything. So he asked me yesterday about a couple of things. I can't remember what the one thing he asked me about was. I forget what it was. It was probably a fast food something, because he did also ask me about McRibs. His go-to requests, which are denied, are Jersey Mike's and McRibs. Well, McRibs are easy because McDonald's doesn't seem to have them very often anymore. And the last time he suggested Jersey Mike's, or actually I suggested Jersey Mike's. I thought in a moment of whatever, I would consent to Jersey Mike's for Father's Day. As long as he had a regular, not a giant. And I don't buy him chips with them. I give him a reduced sodium Pringles, which really are bad. I know salt's not the only thing that makes Pringles palatable, but boy, those sure do. I don't know what it is. Anyway, and then like a day or two before Father's Day, he said, Chrissy, Father's Day. Because he doesn't do complete sentences. Chrissy, Father's Day. Tuna salad. All right, Pop, I'll make you some tuna salad. Still going to get the Pringles. And so that's what we did. We made him some tuna salad, and he ate it quite pleased. And so was I, because it was a hell of a lot cheaper than Jersey Mike's. Jersey Mike's is great, but damn are they expensive. I know everything is nowadays, but fucking hey, it's expensive. Anyway. So yeah, that's what I'm doing now. I'm going to get some quiche, and then I'm going to stop at the grocery store on the way home, because he ate the rest of his fruit. I give him a bowl of mixed fruit every morning. So, being diabetic, I'll allow him fruit only because I think there's benefits. The benefits of eating that fruit outweigh the downside of him having those carbs. Pretty conscientious about his carb intake otherwise. So, yeah, that's that. And maybe when I get home I can give you a little update as to the destruction going on my yard.